Big Brother 10 house guest, watch out, I'm coming after you. You're not going to see me. Today we're having our first test. You guys should have been studying. I'm Dan, and the other house guests are going to get schooled.
What's up, guys? You ask, I deliver. Here's my closing DR of the season. So, before we get into the final thoughts and everything, I'd like to say thanks, because this is my first org series, and it's going to be my last org. And obviously it holds a special place in my heart because of that. So, from Season 6 to now, I've been a runner-up, a juror, and it looks like I'm going to be a finalist again. And you can find me all the way back in Season 6 talking about how I want to be on this season. So, to be able to go out on my last org in Season 10, hopefully winning, there's no better bookend for my time in orgs. So, I think that's perfect, and I'd like to thank Nick for letting me come back in the first place, because he didn't have to. Alright, so let's get into the recap of the season here from my perspective. Just for reference, when I'm recording this, Chris just won part 2, so we're going to be doing part 3 tomorrow. The start of the season, I'm gonna try and put some stuff on screen so it's not just clips of Dan talking the whole time. So when this season started, I was the last person to enter, and Nick was really kind to me in that intro. He told me he told the house guests that I was an insanely strategic player who ran the game. I wasn't happy about that personally, because these newbies, I mean, they were probably going to do it anyway, but first 2 weeks, it was just me being targeted because I'm agent, you know. I hate to talk in the third person, but that's the only way I feel I can put it. Alright, so at this point, this is my 4th org, and this was the first time in all 4 that I was intimidated by the cast around me. You know, S6, I came in, I didn't really know anybody. Season 8, I thought I would mop the floor with. We saw how that turned out. In JRZ5, I was kind of just neutral on the cast. I felt like I had a decent shot. But this season, I was intimidated by the people around me. You know, at this point, I knew the people who were returning from Knicks were all really solid players. And a lot of these newbies, like Chris, like I already knew he was a legend of the game. And you had a lot of other people who were coming in who had reputations from other series and were no joke. So, like, every player on this cast, save for, you know, the memes, were really contenders to go all the way. No one on this cast was a bad player, and that scared me, because me and Michael were seen as 2 of the best. And I thought, the mountain to climb to get to the end, obviously it wasn't possible because we couldn't pull it off. And that's what scared me. Coming into the season, obviously the people I wanted to work with outside of Michael were the Season 6 people in Demi and Hay, and Cool, you know, I really wanted to work with him. I thought that working with Cool would probably be not only the most fun, but the best in both of our interests, because knowing me, I don't turn on the people who are actually with me, but somewhere that got lost in translation because Cool had no interest in working with me this season for whatever reason. And that was really unfortunate, because I had a lot of respect for him coming in, and I still do, but I was personally just disappointed that he didn't want to work with me. The first week of this game was really straightforward. Cody was supposed to go but won the veto. No one wanted to make a big move. Nick was cool with me, so boom was sent. Done deal. Me and Michael were in first boot. So I didn't want to have to scroll through Discord and screenshot every important moment, because I'd be making this video for a year if I did that. But Cycle 2 was pretty important, so I was supposed to be backdoored. I won veto, and Demi was sent home. I've talked about this a lot. It sucked, but there was nothing I could do. And this was really the catalyst for everything that happened for the rest of the season, because Ian decided to tank his own game to target me, which I think is fucking ridiculous. What were you thinking, man? So when Demi left, obviously I knew I had to go to work. So me and Michael made Devil in a new dress, and I won HOH, and this is when the game really got real. And most of this video is going to be focusing on what I did this cycle, because I think this is when I played the hardest and did the most. Alright, so I win HOH, and I know I need to make a big play, so I have everyone in the house tell me 2 names. And the reasoning behind this was not only to see what people were thinking, but I know people are going to lie to me. That's the game. And what you don't realize is, even if you lie to someone, you're still giving them 2 names, which is information, and that's all I wanted. All I needed was information to get me through the next week if someone I didn't trust won HOH, which is exactly what I did when Cody won the Week 5 HOH. On the screen, I'm just going to cycle through people scrambling and writing me essays because they know they're in trouble, and they know I don't trust them. As Ian was messaging me, I was honestly just fucking laughing at him. But Jacob, I actually liked him, and it's unfortunate he chose that side, but that's how it goes sometimes. Alright, so I send Ian out of the house because he wasn't the one who came up with the idea of targeting S6 and myself, but I knew the people who came up with the idea weren't going to be willing to win an HOH and do it themselves, so by taking out the puppet, I was securing myself safety with at least the majority of the people playing HOH moving forward. Okay, so after week 3, outside of Cody's HOH, the Devil in a New Dress Alliance won every HOH competition for the entirety of the game, which is crazy. That alliance was so dominant, but week 5 was the second cycle where I had to work pretty hard, because at one point I had Cody blocked on Discord, no lie. It was pretty crazy. You know, I was pissed week 1 by what he was doing. I thought that wasn't like within the parameters of the game, but whatever, it happened, and he won HOH, so I had to talk to him. So with what I did in week 3, I had the information I needed to get him to, you know, kind of do what I wanted, which was just don't take out anyone in Devil in a New Dress. So I talked to him, and I could tell he wasn't really tight with any side of the house, and he wanted to get rid of the person responsible for Demi's eviction because he saw whoever that was as the mastermind of the season up to this point. And what me and Michael have been doing is putting all the blame on Numbers, which was half true. I think it was like a combination of a lot of people. I still don't know yet. I'll find out when I read the season, obviously. But it ended up being that Cody really wanted Numbers out. He kept me off the block. He kept Michael off the block. I gave him the info. The veto ceremony happened, and it was either him or Nick. A little premature. I felt like I could have worked with Numbers a little bit more in the game, but, you know, he had to go, and I'm sorry, dude. It was, that was not the week I wanted you to go. You know, for the rest of the game, it was pretty straightforward. My alliance just steamrolled all the HOH competitions. I was never really in danger again until Final 6. I won Veto, then I won HOH, then I won Veto, Final 3. So, you know, I kind of just used the power I had in the early weeks to set myself up to just coast through the game, and now I'm in the Final 3. There's not much to say, honestly. That's my game. There's a lot of things that obviously happened from week 5 to now, but it's mostly just micro-positioning stuff, getting people to boot the people that I wanted, and it would take way too long to explain, I think. So, and I don't want this video to run that long. So just final thoughts on the season. This season was a grind. It started on February 9th, and I'm recording this on March 30th, so it's crazy. It was really exhausting, but I enjoyed every second of it, believe it or not. You know, I love playing this game, and it was a privilege to be here, and I'm honored that I was asked to return not once, but twice, so I appreciate that. As for where we're at right now, Final 3, I have come to a decision on who I'm taking, but I think I'm going to leave that ambiguous. As you know, no matter which way I go, I'm going to feel bad about it. But that's just how the game is. You got to make a decision, and I'm going to do what I think is right. So, outside of that, presumably my last org, and I hope I come out of this with a win. Sorry if this video was boring. I warned you guys it would be pretty boring, but you ask, I got to deliver. That's all I have to say, honestly. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe.
When I get someone to the end and win $500,000, there shouldn't be any question who is the best player to ever play this game.